So what's up, guys? This is the Zero SR, and the guys here at AF1 Racing were kind enough to let me borrow it and go for a little test spin. So and they didn't really care because they were like, we'll have you ride both. So when you get on the bike, you'll see there's no clutch. I just instantly grabbed for it already. There's a high beam flasher, on, off. Oh, those are hazards. We got a, so that's on, I guess. Yeah, there we go. So you got modes. We're gonna leave it in sport mode because why wouldn't you leave it in sport mode? And oh my God, we are rolling. We are rolling. I don't even understand. There's no noise. All right, so this is the big boy. This makes, oh, okay. This makes 106 pound-feet of torque off the line. Weighs about 420 pounds. And I got a full charge. And when you're stopped, you can just sit. You know, the foot brake is on the foot. There's just no clutch. So let me see if I can head south of the river here and break out of some of this traffic. And I was just chatting with these guys a minute ago, and they actually told me that the FX, even though it has an advertised range of 70 miles, that's like putt-putting along. In reality, if you ride it like you stole it, it'll get about 30 miles, which is why they don't sell very many of them, which makes a crap ton of sense now, because looking at the spec sheet, you totally don't get that feeling. So in terms of riding, it's only got a single front rotor, single rear rotor. I don't know what the front rotor is. Probably looks like maybe a 320 millimeter or something like that. But we're just gonna go ahead and cop through this light. But the thing I gotta say the most is, holy shit, okay. This thing is whoa. Okay, so this thing is hyper smooth. I have mirrors, so yeah, let's stop acting like we're riding some piece of shit out of my own garage. We have mirrors, and they, guess what? The mirrors don't vibrate, because guess what? The engine doesn't vibrate. I mean, oh, little doggy playing to the music. But I mean, there's just no sound. There's just absolutely no sound. And you can hold this button right here, this mode button, for eco mode, custom, which you program with your phone, and sport. We're just gonna leave it in sport because, yeah, test drive. The other thing is, this bike doesn't really feel all that heavy. Yeah, let's not cut corners there, big guy. This bike doesn't really feel very heavy, which makes it very easy to maneuver. It's not real wide between your feet. And guess what? We're sitting in traffic, and you know how much heat is radiating on my balls right now? Absolutely none. So let's see if we can pull in this parking lot real quick and see kind of how it feels. So if I'm just like dicking with it, it's actually super duper smooth. It doesn't want to throw you or anything like that. Holy. So that was pinned. So the truth is, the torque is crazy at first, but it does not, the bike doesn't necessarily overwhelm you with power, which I like. I mean, being overwhelmed with, I mean, that was full throttle acceleration from basically nothing. So we're gonna, so the guy said that you have to be careful in turns, because if you give it the beans in a turn, especially a tight turn, the back end will step out. And I believe him. But this thing, I mean, that's full throttle acceleration, and yeah, it gets going pretty quick, but it's not, I wouldn't say that it's a liter bike fast. I would say it's probably more along the range of a 600. So let's go back. And I mean, it's definitely geared in such a way that, you know, it picks up real good and then it kind of plateaus out. So, but this is the sport model. So when I get back to AF1, they're gonna let me ride the DS. First of all, let me say this: as far as reviews, this got a little pouch rocker, got a little key thing, I think. I don't know what this is. I guess this is just like a pouch. And it's got little power and torque gauges. And it regens when you let off the throttle, which is also really cool. But I mean, you get a little bit of that engine braking feel, but it's not nearly what you think it is. Like, it could be, in fact, I would almost prefer that it be a little bit more aggressive of an engine braking feel, because it's really almost kind of wimpy. I don't want to say wimpy, because it's not really the right word, but it's not scary, put it that way. And I keep trying to shift and I keep trying to clutch and nothing is happening. So to be honest with you, I don't know about this bike on the highway. We're gonna go a little further north and then take the highway south and then see what it's like. I'm sure it feels totally competent on the highway. That's not my concern. But right here in the city, in the stop and go traffic, this is beautiful. I've ridden tons and tons of motorcycles. I mean, I won't say I've ridden like every motorcycle ever. There's no clutch. But I've ridden a lot of different motorcycles. I mean, especially different categories. I've ridden bikes in pretty much every category known to man. And I am hella impressed. If you live downtown and work downtown and you are a motorcycle guy that wants to occasionally go and hit 2222 or something like that, this is not a bad bike. You have fully adjustable suspension. I don't know. I mean, I'm 250 pounds. I'm sitting on it. It feels great. Obviously, this isn't really all that twisty or dangerous or whatever. So I don't know how well it pushes into corners. But that initial just thrust of power is intoxicating. And as you can see, I am moving and filtering with traffic just as well, if not better, because I have this torque on hand than I would be on a properly, a proper petrol bike. The brakes are really grabby. They hold really well. There's not a whole lot of dive. Starting up that hill was just beautiful right there. If you guys saw that, that's actually a fairly steep hill. And I used to hate getting stuck on it on my VMAX because that thing was a pig. But this, I mean, it doesn't hold you or anything like that, but you could actually probably hold yourself on a hill by using just a touch of throttle, because we're just barely moving forward. My only real concern, and this is a stupid concern, this is a really stupid concern, so I'm just going to go out and say that it's a really stupid concern, but my only concern is that based on my experience riding motorcycles, all over the country, this thing doesn't make any noise, and I feel like I'm gonna get killed because it doesn't make any noise. I feel like, dumb bitch in a Suburban is just gonna run me over, and she's not even gonna notice running me over because there's not even any noise. Like, the only noise this bike makes is me screaming in pleasure. And I mean, it handles the bumpy stuff real well. It cruises real well. I'm sure that you could wheelie this bike, and maybe someone who's good at wheelies can wheelie one of these without a clutch. But I'm not even going to try because it's a dealer model. And I don't have 15 grand or whatever this bike costs if I drop it. So we're not going to wheelie, but we are going to try to make our way out to the highway here for a minute. And basically just see what it feels like on the big road. So what does this say? Does this happen to give me a price tag on it? Out the door, $20,000. I definitely don't have $20,000. So, so this bike is the fully uprated model, and the MSRP is $20,000. So, this is crossing into Ducati 1198 money. And if you honestly want me to tell you that this is better than a Ducati 1198 or a BMW S1000RR, or shit, for this money, and if you're talking about big naked bikes, you could have a KTM 1290 with cash to spare, I can't tell you that this bike is better than those bikes. But if to you a $20,000 motorcycle is kind of like maybe like a birthday present, I would ask for this. I would ask for this bike for your birthday. But the fact that this is entirely silent is just killing me right now. I can't deal with the silenceness. That's right, Honda Fit. I am more environmentally friendly right now than you are. Oh shit, where is a Prius? I need to roll up on a Prius and be like, what's up, bitch? Why are you burning so much gas? What's the problem? Anyway, so there's like 65 miles an hour. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get much more out of this 35 traffic, but this bike is cruising, and according to the power output gauge thingy, we're at like 3 bars, and that was a nice little pothole, and I barely felt it. So this bike is really cool, and I really like it, but $20,000 is a lot of money. You can buy a lot of coke and strippers with that. And you can also buy a lot of really top shelf motorcycles with that. Here's Woodland. So we're gonna head back to the dealership and see if they're still willing to let me have one of the other bikes. And there's still no clutch. Why is there no clutch? I almost feel like Zero should just put something here with like a spring attached to it, so that people like me can just grab it instinctively without feeling a slight moment of terrified and being like, oh my god, what happened? Because that's the thing, if you ride supermotos long enough and then you reach and then there's no clutch, you assume it has fallen off. This is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot stress how totally cool this bike is. As you know, I'm a huge gearhead. I love the smell of carburation and speed and all of those things, but I'll be honest with you, if this is the future, I can live with that. The problem is, for regular people, a $20,000 price tag on an electric motorcycle with like a 70-mile range, like a real 70-mile range, is just unacceptable at this point. There are tax credits. I don't know what they are. I didn't do that much research, but you can look them up. There's probably federal credits and maybe even state of Texas credits, assuming they don't shoot you for this. Even with those credits, I mean, I don't know. From what I remember at some point looking, the credit is something like $5,000, $4,000 or $5,000, and if you put this bike down in the 16 range, I mean, we're talking, that's a real conversation, right? Because, I mean, there's financing, and just because the dealer says they want 20 grand for something doesn't actually mean they'll get it. As absolutely enamored with it as I am, that kind of money is just not feasible. So unless to you $20,000 isn't a lot of money, in which case you should definitely buy this today. You should call up Zero. You should say, I want it in red, I want it delivered to my door today. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure they can make it happen, because I emailed them and asked for a test drive and they made it happen, and I wouldn't have given me a test drive, no way in hell. So like I said, this is the SR, this is the Zero SR. It is their sport bike. It makes 106 pound-feet of torque. You have a 70-mile range-ish, I think, and it's got really excellent brakes and suspension. There's very little dive. The ride comfort is absolutely up there. I would say the ride comfort is better than even my speed, or even like a brand new Speed Triple I rode last year. I am absolutely enamored in this bike. Yeah, that's really all I got to say to you guys about it. You know, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go and test drive the other bike real quick and see what that one feels like. But peace.